As you guys may have heard already, Furina can actually be heard crying at the Fountain of Lucine. If you haven't, then I'll just play it for you right now.
Oh, interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer?
And given my undying love for Furina, coupled with my astronomical, second-to-none intellect when it comes to researching topics, I decided to sit here and propose one theory. One, as to why the ever-so-lively Hydro Archon can be heard weeping in a moment of weakness. To get a general understanding of this theory, first we need to understand exactly what the Oratrice is. The Oratrice is a weighing scale that converts people's beliefs into adamantium, or however you say that word. Adamantium is Fontaine's energy source, okay? That's pretty much what the Oratrice is. We also know a couple of the things about it, such as it has a consciousness, and it doesn't always make the same decision as the Chief Justice. Alright, now, to understand this theory, we need to go all the way back to Sumeru. When we were asking Nahida about Fontaine, do you remember what Nahida said? Worry not, my friends. I will play a clip.
No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydro Archon, focalors, won't preside over individual trials. However, even then, focalors will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that she just likes to immerse herself in that sort of atmosphere. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict.
Did you catch it? If not, then you could never hope to match the intellect of me. Anyway, the big takeaway from this is that focalors as the Archon still reserves the right to influence the final verdict of every trial. Okay, that's big, so hold on to that. This statement is crucial because it comes from Nahida, who is the god of wisdom, who most likely attained this knowledge through Irminsul, so it must be correct. However, having been a part of two separate trials, we saw firsthand that Furina does not do this at all. She sort of just sits there on the sidelines and just is well, I'm not going to say impartial observer, but she is an observer of these trials.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted?
She doesn't do anything directly that influences the outcome of these trials, even though we know for a fact that she can do so. We also know that by law, the Oratrice's verdict is final. So what if, instead of never influencing the verdict of the trials, did I say that right? Yeah, I said that right. The verdict of the trials. What if never influencing the verdict of the trials, focalors is always influencing the verdict of the trials because she is the Oratrice. We know that the Oratrice has a consciousness, but what if it's actually a part of Furina herself? When Lenny went to investigate the Oratrice, he noted that there was a voice that, quote, seemed to recognize him and tried to speak to him. We saw firsthand that the Oratrice can be swayed based on the facts of the trial. Even Nervalets himself said that the Oratrice contained some traits of self-awareness. Now, there are some things to note with this theory. For it to work, Furina would almost certainly have to be split completely into two, because Child's verdicts also left her surprised, as she couldn't have seen it coming. However, this could also help explain why Furina appears to be the weakest of all the Archons, because rather than the people's belief in the Archon, it's in the Oratrice, which is what powers the Oratrice, is the people's belief. Did I say that? Did that make sense, folks? I mean, I say she's the weakest because, I mean, dude, at least Venti stood up to Signora. This bitch just tucks tails and runs every time someone tries to throw hands. So, I mean, she's clearly just, like, not a fighter. So, in this theory, what the weeping is the Oratrice crying of loneliness due to the fact that its entire life's purpose as a machine is to simply read sentences and that's it. Remember what the crying voice said, it's lonely, and it seems endless. The Oratrice is a machine made for a simple purpose, and its core rests somewhere in some basement, forgotten by all, kept away from everyone else. This could also help explain why Child's verdict was read as guilty, but, you know, that's a whole nother story. So, I mean, that's pretty much the short of the theory. You could get into much more detail. Well, these are sort of the clip notes. I also just, like, the other theory is that, she's crying because of the prophecy, but that's boring, man! This one's exciting, I like this one.